Hey, welcome to another episode of Your Concrete Success Podcast. My name is Danny Barrera. I'm the host and also the founder of Concrete Marketing Crew. Again, I have another special guest, the same guest from last time. Can you guess who she is? Well, here she is, Maddie Barrera, my partner, and also my right-hand side here at Concrete Marketing Crew. Welcome aboard, Maddie. How's it going today?
Thank you guys. I had such good feedback from all of you guys messaging me, calling me that you had seen me on the podcast that I figured I'd come back. It was so much fun. So here I am.
Clients,
Clients called.
prospects.
Prospects called saying that they saw us and that they heard me on the podcast and that they wanted to level up. It was really cool.
Yeah, we just want to thank all of our listeners for giving us your valuable time. I know you could be listening to any other podcast out there, so it means the world to us, and it would mean the world if you could help us share the love by hitting that subscribe button, hitting the like if you like this video, or if you're listening on Spotify, on Amazon, on Apple Podcast, make sure you give us some ratings so that we can start growing and sharing the abundance here of knowledge. And Maddie, what do we have here in store for our listeners today?
All right, so today we're going to have a juicy topic, a very, very good topic that I always hear, my guys calling me and asking me these questions. So the topic for today is how to win in a competitive market.
Ooh.
How to win.
How concrete coating and decorative concrete contractors can win in a competitive market.
Correct.
Love it. So what kind of questions do you get?
All right. So the very first question that I've gotten quite often is how can you market, or what are the best practices to market in a tough territory?
Tough territory.
Mm-hmm.
So define tough.
I think tough would mean a territory that has a low population, or even like a territory that, for example, in the winter gets very cold and it snows. So what are best practices to market in those kinds of territories?
Welcome to the concrete industry where we have a short season and we must seize every opportunity. All right, well, all jokes aside, there's a couple of things that we look at when someone sets up a discovery call with us. One of them is the territory and what does the population look like? Because here's what you have to understand is sometimes if you're in the middle of nowhere, you will be you're forced to travel outside of your hometown. And there's nothing you can do about that. We can blanket the entire city with advertising on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, etc. And the search volumes are only so many. I mean, there was a point in time where we took a concrete contractor, incredible contractor, does amazing work, gave us the entire territory, and we onboarded the individual. We got a list of all the top cities. In less than 60 days, it was number one in all the cities, all of them.
Yeah.
And our team is celebrating. It's like, hey, we're conquering. We've done an amazing job. And we come back and have a conversation with the client like 60, 90 days in. And he's like, I'm getting a couple more calls, but nothing earth-shattering. So this was earlier on, and we started having these internal conversations with the team. It's like, hey, so what else can we possibly do? Like the website conversion is at 15%. He's ranking number one for every service in all these territories that this individual has given us. So this is where we really start having an alignment conversation of understanding that every territory will have its challenges and it's different. So population is a good indicator. Income ranges is a very good indicator. Obviously, you don't want to target the wrong sides of town. And some of that data will be discovered as you spend more time in your service area. So this individual specifically, he started traveling outside of the state. He started, I don't know how many hours he had to drive out of his hometown in order to get to work on jobs that were worth the money. It was an interesting discovery that we had at that point in time. So now when a client comes in and we are uncertain of whether SEO is going to work for them, we always let them know. Google Ads is going to help us validate the territory, the search trends. This is going to be the fastest path. We don't take their SEO money. And then once we validate that, then we move based on the conversions that we've seen from Google Ads into a full SEO plan. Now with Facebook ads, it's a different story. Talk to us about how your team in the fulfillment takes care of and handles when you have to deal with population and marketable. Yeah.
I mean, I think the biggest distinction here is that we're constantly monitoring the accounts very, very consistently. And I do find that when we're advertising in a place that has a smaller population, you either have to expand your service area, or the cost per lead can be a little bit higher. But sometimes that
Or a lot.
really,
Sometimes
yeah,
it's a lot
sometimes
more.
it's a lot. But really, I think that same conversation that we were having, putting all your eggs in one basket when you're in a very small territory like that isn't necessarily the right thing to do either, because you might have better luck with Facebook ads and Google ads, for example, because then they feed off each other to a certain degree. So I find that would be, for me, the thing. Also, one of the things that we do differently, or that we kind of do in that scenario, is we really take into account the population, what it looks like. We take into account how the population behaves, what kind of demographics are in that area. So when you're able to target certain different demographics and behaviors that people do, you do tend to have a better outcome in terms of the Facebook ads, even if you're in a smaller population. So I think it's a lot to do with the way that we manage that.
Well, and this is another interesting. I don't know if you have the data right in front of you right now to share, but off the cuff, I mean, your team, the Facebook ads team, when I talk about Facebook advertising, it's really the account managers, U.S.-based account managers. They are the media buyers. They're the ones running the advertising campaign. So they're pretty much, they have their hands on the client's campaigns, and we have a set of accounts that each one of those individuals works on to ensure quality, to ensure that our clients get the proper attention. When I've seen that you bring up to these level 10 calls or these team calls, any type of issues, it always comes down to, okay, does the client have the right budget?
Right.
Because sometimes, what can you do if you're a startup and you're just running $30 a day?
Right.
Right? Another one is, what kind of creatives is the client providing to you? Meaning, when I say creatives, just think of pictures and videos. You have your phone. If you have the latest iPhone, that's all you need. You have a DSLR quality, probably worth multiple thousands of dollars worth of camera in that specific device. So personally, I like the iPhones. This specific podcast studio, it's iPhones. Believe it or not, if you're watching this on YouTube, welcome. This is it. This is iPhones. So you can make incredible material out of your iPhones. And I can't emphasize that enough.
1000%.
So when you are restricted in population, doesn't mean that there's no business there. It means you're forced to be creative. You're forced to stand out. And the other thing is, you're going to find some winners, some ads that work really well, some videos that work really well. And over time, they will start to die out. That's the nature of it, based on the growth of that company. But if we've seen that clients don't send us the right pictures, or they look with all due respect, they look like shit. My kids could take better pictures. There's nothing our team can do to make them look better.
Right, because if you're going to send me a picture of a beautifully flaked garage floor, but it's so blurry that it doesn't even look like flakes.
It looks like there's dust on the lens. I recommend cleaning it, quite literally. Grab your T-shirt and wipe it out. I do this all the time. You've seen me do this, even for the front camera. I take my shirt and I just clean out the lens, and that makes a huge difference, a big difference. It looks better, and learn how to take photographs and video, and before and afters, before, during, and after. Those are great.
Super.
And that material in challenging territories makes the biggest difference between stubborn accounts, clients that are struggling to get leads, to the ones that the leads come in warmed up, they love what they see, and they move on.
Right.
Right?
Yep. I agree with that.
That answered that question specifically.
That did answer that question. But now I have a really, it's kind of goes a little bit hand in hand with
Sure.
this one to a certain degree, but it's a little bit more broad. So Danny, I want to know what your suggestion is. I want to talk about how to market in a slow economy. That's a big deal.
Yeah. Well, a slow economy brings its challenges. So you have, going back to the data that it's in market, and you can look at Google Trends. It's a free tool. You can search it up. Go to the Google Keyword Planner. Google Keyword Planner is also a free tool. If you have Google Ads running through your Google Ads running, the Keyword Planner will have a little bit better data than if you don't have an active Google Ads running in your ad account. So the only difference, it tells you a better estimate in how many people are searching for the services. So this is what I'm telling prospects and clients is like, if you look at the data and we look at what the searches were before COVID happened, that is a very good timeline, very good indicator of the trends, what I should be expecting. Why? Because money has run out for a lot of people. All this government money that was coming out into the market, and people were just getting, jobs done in their home, and like that. Some of that money, even the refinancing money, I mean, it's pretty much drying out for a lot of people. So, what are some of the things that we can look into, ensuring that you don't have to lowball yourself to the ground to the point that you're not even profitable? It doesn't even make sense to run a business. So this is more of a mindset shift that must happen, where you must double down on your business, on your branding, on your presence. How is it that you're showing up? Because now a prospect has so many options, and your dollar is only going to produce so much in terms of lead generation. Your cost per lead might go up on a slower economy. There's less searches, right? People are more conscious of where they're going to put their money. Instead of doing a summer project plus taking a vacation trip, now they're picking one or the other, choosing one or the other. So what are some of the options you're giving your potential clients when they're coming in, knocking on the door and saying, hey, I'm interested in getting a quote. How much would this be? So this is the time to double down and redefine and refine your marketing and sales process, and ensuring that this is a smooth transition. Every opportunity counts as two. And this doesn't start now. This must have started already 3-6 months ago. I've been preaching about this since the beginning of the year. We were at the Valence Growth Mastermind. By the way, there's another mastermind coming up. Big shout out to Pete Johnson and his team at Valence Protective Coatings. They're putting together an amazing mastermind. If you're a concrete coating contractor and you're interested in getting the details, there's going to be some pre-sale pricing that you're going to be able to get through Concrete Marketing Crew. Make sure you reach out to us so we can get you hooked up. Probably going to be the best event. But in that event, I spoke about the trends of the market. And one of the main things was setting realistic expectations. So one lead is worth us two. That means that I must double down on the communication, on the engagement, on the multi-touch points that I have with that one prospect. And this is more challenging for the smaller guy because you're installing floors, you're grinding the floor. Maybe you get a break when you already put the flakes on the floor, and you can step out for about whatever time the dry out time is for your product, and you can get back to the leads. But now, if you don't have someone in place, what are you doing to get back to the leads as they come in? Like, what are we doing to follow up with that opportunity if they don't answer the first time, second time? So it's not just about what do we do to market and stand out and sell more jobs in a slower economy. It's more about what is our attitude and aptitude to treat every opportunity. Like that's it. It's got to be a mindset shift. And people don't like to hear that because, I'm paying a marketing agency, or, I'm paying for ads. Like, this is not working. And this is where you start to see the businesses that are going to go out of business. The ones that will go out of business in the next 12 to 18 months with much love and appreciation for as much as you've given into yourself into building a business, you will not make it on the other side if you don't fix your sales piece of your business. You must become very weaponized when it comes to how you present yourself, how you're showing up at the door and knocking, What is the appointment setting script or the appointment setting flow that you're using to build the value before the sale or before you show up at the door? What are you doing to follow up before you show up at the door? What are you doing to follow up right after you've given a pricing on the spot? What are you doing to follow up in the next 3 months, in the next 12 months? You see some opportunities. If you look at your database right now, if you were to go back to your database and start touching base with them once a month, what you've already spent in generating leads, there is a segment of that database, 10, 15, 20, 30, up to 30%, that will move forward with you. So this is the time to double down on what you already have. And whatever you have, optimize it, improve it. That becomes the ultimate differentiator as a company. So from the moment you pick up the phone or someone picks up the phone to the moment you follow up. And that, I believe, I don't know if you have anything else to add there.
I do. I was going to say, if you work with us and we've generated leads for you in the past, like you have a giant database of client numbers that at one point were interested in your product. So during a slow season, if you are not installing as many floors as you want, so go back and start calling all those people in that CRM. Call the people in your database. Offer them discounts. Hey, we're having a back to school special. We're offering 10% off our flooring this month. Like it's like you say, it's one client is worth two, right? So start doubling down on what you already have in your database and start calling them. But I also have some practical tips from some of my our clients that I spoke to this past couple weeks. So one of them is financing. People are holding on to their money right now. Nobody wants to let go of giant sums of money. But you know what? People will buy an afterpay. And you know, like at least as a consumer, as a woman, we will buy an afterpay. What does that mean? You split the payment into 4 different payments. There's
12.
There's tons of financing companies that offer financing. So start looking into that. That's a very big positive in terms of like marketing in a slow economy.
And
but
we're putting together, on that note, there is a blog post. So if you're not subscribed to Concrete Marketing Crew, our social media, make sure you follow us. Because there's a blog post that's coming up. We get that question all the time. Hey, who do you recommend for financing? Hey, who do you recommend for CRMs? Hey, who do you... There's a couple of blog posts that are on the pipeline specifically for financing.
Yeah.
And just stay tuned for more podcast episodes as we bring individuals that actually do and offer financing for concrete coating and decorative concrete contractors.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Well, I want one last practice that I wanted to mention, which I thought was very clever. I did speak to one of our clients this past week. And he was talking to me about how during a slow season, what he'll do is he'll sell the floor, right? And he'll put a deposit down on the floor. And then in order to keep his slow season busy, he'll offer a discount if you put deposit down today, but you don't do your floors until a couple months from now.
So it's a small deposit.
So it's a small deposit.
It's not 50%.
No, it's a small deposit.
Is it 30%?
I did not ask him how much percent it is, but it's a small deposit.
Small deposit.
I think maybe even
On
I
the
think
quote,
he said
to reserve the quote price.
I think he may have said like a third. He deposits 1/3.
Interesting. Good.
Right, and then the rest of the 2/3 he'll book you out a couple months out in the year during the slow season, and then he'll give you a discount on the overall like floor. So that's a clever way to sell your floors and to offer, you know, an advantage.
And that's a smart strategy for a smaller company. Like if I was starting a company, we've been behind the scenes here about running our own, and some things have come up here. I'm running a coaching business, Concrete Marketing Crew, leading this organization, etc. So that's been put on hold. But those are the strategies that we talk about. It's like, okay, how do we book ourselves out a month, 2 months in advance when we're just starting with the first crew and we want to get the hang of things? Well, that's a strategy you can leverage. Is collect small deposits, sell the job to 4-6 weeks. There's a special pricing that they get, and that's instead of not making any money, now you've got some certainty built out in the pipeline, and continue to set the expectation of what's coming up for that individual. Because the one thing is, like, if it's 2 months out, guess what? Bills are going to come up for them. Emergencies are going to come out for them. There's a ton of things that come out, but there's a way and a process to get the individual interested and expecting and looking forward to that transformation. And here's the beautiful thing about concrete coatings and decorative concrete. You make concrete beautiful.
Mm-hmm. That's
Like
true.
there, look how amazing that is. And not only that, but if you offer solutions that are long lasting and that are going to transform someone's environment, there's nothing better than that. I mean, just the feeling that you get seeing a customer smile when they get their floor and it looks beautiful, it's crisp, and they can drive their car in, and we see that happen for our clients. We see through their reviews. So build up upon that emotional sell as you're getting deposits and having the prospect look forward to their transformation, because you have to constantly remind them what they invested on or what they put a deposit on. If you don't remind them, guess what's going to happen? They're going to go cold and they're going to tell you, well, you know that refundable deposit, Maddie?
Right.
We need it right now. Versus you continue to build the value and remind them, right? And this is part of the sales process.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the key, the sales process.
Yeah.
It almost always goes down to that, the sales process. All right, so I have another really good question for you.
Yes.
How do you differentiate yourself when your competitor is selling the same exact thing you're selling?
Absolutely. I love that question.
It's a good one.
Here's how you differentiate yourself in a very competitive market. There's one thing that your competitor cannot copy or match. There's one thing. It's you and your team. Like, they could probably get to the same product. They can get to same quality product, same process, same 6-step install process. Yes, the competitor told me that they could do another 15-year warranty as well. So this is why it's so important to double down and invest in your sales skills for you and your team, your entire team. There is one audiobook I recommend everyone here listening to this podcast get. It's by Grant Cardone. If you're not first, you're last. That happened. He wrote that in the last recession, 2008 recession. And there are so many valid points that I highly recommend anyone here who's struggling to differentiate yourself to double down on. It's your personality, your character, and not just you as a leader, but your teams. Everyone who's showing up, building the certainty in your team, showing that through social media, going organically. And this is why we don't sell social media posting services. We tried that in the past. It removes that authenticity, which is what people are yearning and looking for. So I love when I see our clients post their Friday morning meals with their team and having breakfast and, after the install, and the guys are sweating and this becomes material that we use for marketing as well, for the ad campaigns, and it works really well, like the crew
Very
pictures. So what sells more than just the brand and the trucks? Yes, there's a piece to that. There is that, like how you show up, but it's the human side of things. It's the energy that you're producing. So think about it this way. Put yourself in the shoes of a homeowner. Salesperson comes in all sloppy, smells like a cigarette. You know what I'm saying? All dirty, shoes are dirty, and you're quoting the same price, same product installed, same process, versus someone that's coming in cleaned up with a smile, good presence, good energy, and it just makes the person feel very comfortable and confident in the company. And now we start telling the company story, and hey, this is what really sets us apart. And in fact, with Concrete Marketing Crew, we get this question all the time. Yeah, there's a lot of companies that run Facebook advertising. I can tell you this. No one's going to match our team. There's no match. There's no competition. They can try to copy our ads. There's a lot of agencies that quite literally, our ads have become very popular. Even there's one that's flying around with me doing the voiceover, right? That I captured this. It's interesting. They can copy that, but those same prospects that are working with those agencies come knocking on our doors, and we have our salespeople telling them, hey, you realize you're running our ads, right? And it becomes okay, you're coming to us because they're not getting the full treatment.
Right.
At Concrete Marketing Crew, we've spent so much time, and we continue to, in refining what that customer client experience needs to look like from the front end, from the moment they start working with an account manager. What does that onboarding call needs to look like? What does that first lead that comes through needs to look like? So all of that, how do you differentiate yourself amongst all competitors when there is dozens of Facebook ad agencies coming to town in the concrete coating space? By the way, welcome aboard, team. This is like a free market. Like, please serve clients. Serve clients. Do what's right for the clients. Care about the clients. If you're listening to this, you're a competitor, man. Like, serve clients. If you focus on that, your life is going to change. So, same thing for you. You own a concrete coating business. Guess what? Focus on serving clients at the highest possible levels, and you're going to find gaps. You're going to find objections that you're getting. You're going to find everything the customer has already told you. It's already out there. So aside from the brand, yes, you got to have the truck wraps, the trailer wraps. Yes, you got to have your team with the logos, etc. There's that presence and uniqueness where the people come in, sets you apart. Now, there's going to be tools that you can use, your reviews, right? The 5-star reviews, collecting what they look like, that's a big deal. You can Google Concrete Marketing Crew and just stumble through the reviews. And in fact, I don't know if our audio guy can pull up our website. And when a prospect comes to us, we actually got a review from one of the Shark Tanks. What's his name?
Kevin Harrington.
Kevin Harrington. Recently, go to the About Us and the Crew Difference. You can kind of go through the website before, just scroll down.
I'm Kevin Harrington.
Yeah, scroll down just a little bit before you play it. There's the reviews, there's client testimonials. So this is a great piece. I recommend you leverage this before you even show up at a client's home. You can kind of see right there the Crew values. We speak to a prospective clients about our values when we started. So they know what's different between us and any other agency that they're considering. This is like a short summary. So before we have a sales conversation, they already have a good feel of what's different. Now, when you have an authority figure, now let's go back to the video, an authority figure, this really sets you apart. So play.
An original shark from the hit TV show Shark Tank. As a serial entrepreneur, I attribute the success of many of my businesses to a deep understanding of marketing. Now, after all, if you can't get your brand in front of others, how will they ever buy from you? That's what I like about Concrete Marketing Crew. They are leading experts in the latest marketing strategies for concrete coating businesses, and they deliver amazing results for their clients. The Concrete Marketing team has a deep understanding of marketing as well as a proven track record, and they bring that growing expertise to every single client that they work with. They're on the leading edge of technology and innovation, so they deliver great results while helping their clients outpace the competition. Now, their focus is to over-deliver at a wow level of service. I like that. So it's no surprise that their clients stay with them for a long time. And most importantly, they create measurable results for their clients, turning small contractors into large brands with proven marketing strategies. If you own a concrete coating company and you want to sell more floors, Concrete Marketing Crew is a great choice to help you take your business to the next level.
Beautiful. Thank you for playing that. So that being said, there are materials that you can build and authority figures you can leverage in your community, in your local community that already exists, that you have already served. It only takes you the amount of time between maybe you know someone already in your circle that can give you and vouch for you and create video material. Video sells, personality sells very much. Your reviews, testimonials every time. Like there's a program right now we're working with an AI specialist in our agency that's helping us dial in our process so that our clients can get more reviews. So the reviews become a selling point. But if you're starting out and you're competing against a company that has 100+ reviews, guess what? It's going to take you a while before you get there. So what can you leverage now, here now? That answer your question?
That did answer my question. I have a fun story. I loved meeting Kevin Harrington.
Oh, yeah.
Because we met him, like we actually like got to like have a conversation with him and whatnot. And I loved meeting him, especially because I don't know if you all know this, but I know that Kevin Harrington started off on TV in those as seen on TV advertising.
Yeah.
But when he started seeing that those commercials on TV were not performing as well as they were in the past, he moved over to Facebook ads. And that was one of the biggest income generators for him.
That's
Facebook
his main
ads.
for
It
all his
is.
businesses.
Facebook
Every
ads.
business, he said, every business he invests on, he's running Facebook ads.
He's running Facebook
like that's
ads.
the main channel.
Yeah, and if you go on,
It's interesting.
if you follow me on social media, you get to see that I actually met him and really sized him up on his ads strategy.
Oh yeah,
talked
we had
about it. It was
a
very
cool conversation with him.
It was very cool. It was very
yeah,
cool.
it was awesome.
All right, so speaking about advertising, like Facebook ads and whatnot, and marketing, can you give us an idea of what you suggest advertising budgets should be?
That's
a good one.
That is a question that your goals will tell you what it needs to be. Do you have one crew? Do you have two crews? Do you have four crews? And then let's look at your service area. Let's look at the amount of competition. Like off the cuff, if I could just give you some ranges, I'll give you some ranges. But ultimately, your territory plus your company size will determine what we need to have as far as ads budget to push the needle forward. If you have one crew, what I recommend minimum these days is $1,500 per one crew. That should get you enough leads to get the ball rolling, get them booked out a couple of weeks out. Doesn't happen in every territory. We've seen that what used to be $1,500, now it's got to be $2,000 in order to get these guys. So there's this one aspect that you got to figure out, what does that need to be? Either way, what we like to calculate is our clients generate a minimum of 10x ROI. That means you spend $1,000, you book $10,000 worth of jobs. And these are for the companies that are starting and kind of like in their startup phase. They're still trying to figure out how to overcome objections, and like, they don't have a good follow-up process that they follow, or they might get back to the leads one time and that's it. But we've seen it that the budget is very different for every single service area and territory. And this is why I am so against the ads that I see that it's 50 leads guaranteed or it's for free.
No.
Here's what you're going to get with that team. I'm telling you because I run in these circles. I'm just going to open it up for you. When someone tells you 50 leads or it's for free, guaranteed, blah, 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 that means that they're going to charge you $2,500. That's what they charge you. Then they're going to run Facebook ads from their ads account. And whatever they do is they deliver name, email, phone number as a quick lead form.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's no criteria. They might put you up on a CRM, and they generate the cheapest lead cost that they can, and they keep the rest of the money. Some of these individuals can pull that off with like $1,200, with depending on how many questions they put on the lead form criteria. Some of them can pull it with $1,500. They keep the rest. So this is why I'm so up against what should my budget be. Because it does become a conversation of like, let's talk about your sales process. Let's look at your current ratio. So right now there's someone that reached out to us. Hey, I'm, and this is an individual that came from another agency that was paying more for the leads. Now he's paying less for the leads. So in terms, he's generating more leads for the same budget, but it's still struggling. That's not a conversation about lead generation. That's a conversation about your sales process. Like if we're not converting a good 50%, 40% on the low end of leads into a booked estimate, qualified booked estimate, that means that you're probably calling the leads one time.
Yep.
Not two times, not three times, not four times. Yes, you do need to call them back that many times. So that's a great question.
Yep.
I would love to give you a straight up answer, but it does depend and vary, and we work with every client and figure those things out and help them, empower them to improve on those.
Right. All right. So this is the last question. Okay. If I were to ask you to tell me in one word, what part of marketing is going to land you the most jobs, what would that one word be? What would you say?
Repeat that again.
If you were to tell me in one word,
what is
the one thing that is going to secure more jobs in marketing, what would that one word be?
In marketing.
Yeah, in marketing your company. What would that word be?
In marketing your company.
Mm-hmm. You want me to go first?
Go first. Yeah, I'm not getting the question.
Sales.
Yeah, I mean that falls under sales. It's not under marketing.
It's a big deal. Like I feel like we can generate leads and generate leads and generate leads, but if the sales process is not consistent and it's not solid, then talk to me about that.
Yes. Okay. So that would fall under the sales piece. But when it comes to the marketing side of things, if we're talking from a marketing perspective, it's the positioning piece. And the positioning piece has a couple of things. It's the salesmanship that happens within the ad, the salesmanship that happens within the website, the salesmanship that happens within videos of the company, the salesmanship that happens before someone has that sales experience. So it's all in one. People look at sales and marketing separately. Now we're looking at it as one unit because it's all got to be one unit. For example, what if you have videos introducing the sales rep that's going to show up at the door, pre-selling themselves before a prospect and saying, hey, Mrs. Johnson, this is so-and-so, and I'm looking forward to meeting you tomorrow at 2 p.m. If you have any questions, feel free to text back. If anything happens on my end and I'm delayed, I will be letting you know tomorrow morning. Okay, sounds good? Boom. That selfie video, it's a marketing piece.
Right.
It's a marketing piece, but it's a sales piece. So now everything is becoming so unified where I believe where we're headed, everything has got to be one, sales and marketing, married together. So that was a very good question. I didn't understand it at first, but looking at it, and that's what I teach agency owners too. It's like, hey, you got to stop treating the marketing like this and then the sales like this. No, it's got to be when someone comes in through your doors, it's got to be established. And this is why we have the growth program, a Concrete Marketing Crew. Because once you accelerate the lead flow, you realize like, fuck, I need to improve my sales. Oh man, I need to improve so many other areas of the business. Well, you can leverage technology. You can leverage your website, your Google search presence, your maps optimization. I mean, you can leverage so many other things to come together and give your prospective client that unified sales and marketing experience. Yeah.
Yep, that's true. All right, I have no further questions for you, sir.
Wow, I do have one question for you.
Or me. Oh my.
All right, what would you tell someone out there who's on the fence, they're looking into Concrete Marketing Crew? Why should they choose Concrete Marketing Crew?
I mean, working with Concrete Marketing Crew is like hiring a marketing team to work alongside with you in your company. So working with us means that you're always going to have a person that you can speak to. And like you said, sometimes like say your ROIs are not you're not meeting your ROIs. So you get to have a team that's going to adjust their marketing. It's not a one-stop shop, one-size-fits-all marketing for everybody.
Yep.
It's a very custom marketing strategy for each and every individual. And you get to have that kind of company working alongside with you.
Yeah. Partnership is a big deal. I think that's the proper word.
Yeah.
A true partnership and 100% real. We have the code here at Concrete Marketing Crew is results, feelings, focus, and the bottom line results. So the facts of the current results that you're getting right now, every time we go back to that, hey, what are the current results? How are we feeling about those results? What should be the focus to get us to that next place where you want to go? And realigning the expectations. That doesn't happen without a partnership.
Right.
Like a partnership is like, dude, we're on the same page and we want to get to the same place that you want to get to. And this must be met from both ends. Maybe you need to increase the ads budget. Maybe we need to improve on the sales piece. Maybe we need to. So that whole conversation is where the partnership and guidance comes into place. Yep. Awesome. Thank you for coming along and playing Full Out. I believe you're going to be directing a couple of these podcast episodes
soon.
With some team members.
We have some fun things in the works too with our account managers. We're going to get together and chit chat inside secret stuff of account managers.
I'm looking forward to that.
That's going to be fun. Yeah, that's in the works. Mm-hmm.
All right. And for our listeners, I want to thank you very much for tuning to Your Concrete Success podcast. This is Danny Barrera with Maddie Barrera here at Concrete Marketing Crew. If you have any questions, feel free to let us know by visiting our website, concretemarketingcrew.com. Most importantly, we'd love your feedback on this. If you're enjoying it, not enjoying it. Hey, Danny, why did you curse on that episode? Hey, like, I keep it real, guys. Give us your feedback. It's going to help us create better content for you. Questions. It's going to help us make sure that we hit the nail on the head for you guys. Most importantly, it's going to let our team know that we're doing a good job. So comment, like, share, and if you're listening on Spotify, Amazon, Apple, make sure that you leave us a review. We'd appreciate you guys. Have an amazing rest of your day. Let's crush it.